Good evening and welcome back to Sctv, Simpson College's first student-run weekly newscast. I'm Jake Friend and it's great to be with you.
And I'm Liv Allen. It's great to have you back, Jake.
Thanks, Liv. February is nationally celebrated as Black History Month as a way to honor, educate, and celebrate Black history.
Simpson has a month full of events. SCTV's Cassie Nash has more on Black History Month on campus.
Nationally, February is Black History Month. The holiday was recognized beginning in 1970 as a way to honor and educate about Black history and traditions. Simpson is celebrating with a variety of events over the month.
Our upcoming event is February 10th at 8 p.m. in Black Box, and it is our Black History Month trivia night. And that's where we test you on what you know about Black history, or you may learn something new there.
Center Street exhibition in Kent Gallery, which was a historically Black neighborhood in Des Moines. There's an exhibit in the gallery talking about that neighborhood.
Our next major event is February 16th, and it's going to be at 1 p.m. in Hubble or Zoom, so you got no excuse not to be there. And it's going to be a special lecture from Martha S. Jones, professor at Johns Hopkins University.
On the last day of February at 3:30, there will be an event showcasing the George Washington Carver collection with the help of Dunn Library's archives.
Collections of George Washington Carver, which we got help by Sid Dyer, who is our librarian at Dunn, and it's a whole collection of George Washington Carver's collections of manuscripts, books, everything about him.
The impact of Black History Month to students and staff on campus is seen in different ways.
Is a time for celebration. There have been so many people from the past who have contributed so much to not only our community, but to society as well.
It is a time to recognize men and women and just people of color in general that have done amazing things, and we're just looking at and recognizing their stories.
Personally, I celebrate Black history every day, right? And I think that's the goal, where we would like to get to everyone celebrating all cultures every day, right?
The hope is that this month will lead to the rest of the Simpson community being more educated, not only on Black history, but history of all cultures.
The most important thing Black History Month can do is to share culture and to share our culture with people who want to know and people who are less informed about the Black community.
Is to help educate the campus culture around our cultural differences, whether that be Black History Month or Indigenous Heritage Month, Muslim Appreciation Month, really just providing the campus opportunities to engage with cultural differences, to learn more about terminologies and how to interact and make a more inclusive and welcoming environment for those students, staff, and faculty.
For more information on how Simpson is celebrating Black History Month, you can visit the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion tab on simpson.edu. For SCTV, I'm Cassie Nash.
For today's commentary, I will save you all from hearing me yap about my opinion on a random obscure topic and give the floor to Chastain Evans, president of Simpson's Black Student Union. Chastain, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
So as we all know, February is nationally recognized as Black History Month. And Chastain, what are some things that our peers here at Simpson could and should be doing to honor the legacy, contributions, cultural impact of Black Americans all year round?
Be in community with each other and listen to Black students' voices on campus. I know there's a lot of surveys and there's a lot of ways you can impact, the student body and make sure Black voices are heard and, taken care of on campus. So just things like that.
So are there any resources that you or your peers use that are, you think are beneficial for Black college students, specifically Black college students at a predominantly white institution like Simpson?
Oh, resources. The resources that I think Black students on this campus especially need and that we take advantage of are the staff members, and especially the Black staff members and the staff members over diversity and equity, like Kia Levy, that really are in tune with our needs. And we organize together as a Black Student Union, and we look to other organizations to partner with us, like CAB and Culver Center. And all work together and to make this environment good for Black students.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So tell me a bit about this year's Black History Month lecture with Dr. Martha S. Jones, and she's a professor of history at Johns Hopkins University. Do you have any expectations for the lecture, or how are you feeling about that coming up?
Oh, I am really excited for the lecture, actually. She is very knowledgeable about history and Black history in general. I think what I'm really excited about is the topic, which will be women's suffrage and how Black women have really led and broke barriers in women's suffrage and without little credit, they have really done so much that we all don't know about it and all don't know about yet. And I really hope that this lecture shines a light on it for Simpson campus students.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Is there anything else that you would like to share about Black History Month in general, or any upcoming events for the rest of the semester with BSU?
Going into the next few months, we're going to be working on the annual die-in protest that we always organize to raise awareness for police brutality. We also have this Thursday, we have the trivia night that we're organizing with CAV that we're really excited to, put on. And CAV is hosting, and, we're hosting in partnership with them. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, and people will be able to win prizes. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us at the studio tonight. And be sure to check out BSU's Trivia Night tomorrow night for a chance to educate yourself on Black issues and win some prizes while doing it. Now we are going to look at how students are preparing to study abroad over May term. SCTV's Sophie Reese has the story.
As May term approaches, the London Study Abroad class is getting ready for their trip. I spoke with 2 students to see how they're preparing.
Well, I've wanted to study abroad ever since I came to Simpson. My goal was to do it my sophomore year, but just with COVID and stuff, got pushed back a little bit. So I've been really excited to study abroad, just to experience a new culture, and honestly just to take a fun trip with my friends. So I play soccer, and so one of the cool things that we get to do in London is to visit some of the stadiums. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm going with one of my really close friends and teammates, and we're gonna watch some English Premier League games. So I'm really excited for that.
I've wanted to go to London since my freshman year, and I had originally planned to go either my sophomore or junior, but due to COVID, it got canceled, and then I got excited about junior year, and it was canceled again. And even though I didn't have another May term, I'd already done my 2, I was like, it's a great opportunity, so that's why I chose to go. So the first day that we're there, we're gonna go to Parliament and see Big Ben, and then I think we're also gonna be seeing the Eye, which is the big Ferris wheel. I know at some point we're going to be going to the Harry Potter studios, which is really exciting. And then we're also going to be visiting some news sources like BBC and The Guardian, which is a big deal in London because media is very prominent there.
But the rising COVID cases causes some fear of cancellation.
I definitely, with the new variant coming out, decided to get boosted, so that way I was just extra prepared. And then recently London dropped their restriction that they would have to we would get tested on arrival and every 8 days when we're there. So they dropped that. So hopefully things keep trending in a positive direction, but it's definitely in the back of our heads.
Yeah, so with COVID, we've talked about if it does get canceled, possibly get some travel insurance just because a lot of the stuff that we do is non-refundable. And it'll be really sad if it does get canceled, but obviously we can't control what's going on in the world, and so we just got to keep our hopes up and hope nothing happens in the meantime.
Reporting for SCTV, I'm Sophie Reese.
Thank you, Sophie. I know students are so excited to be able to go abroad for May term for the first time in 3 years.
Jake's men's tennis season is underway, starting their season off against Midland on Saturday.
We started practice 4 weeks ago and have been preparing for a hopeful big season. Mo Marks has the season preview.
Simpson men's tennis will be playing their first match of the 2022 season on Saturday, February 12th at Midland University in Fremont, Nebraska. The team, which consists of 8 players, finished 6th in the conference last spring and is aiming to get back to the conference championship tournament.
I think it's going to be hard because one of the teams that we beat last year that we need to beat again this year got some good players. So we're going to have to pick it up to beat them.
But head coach Matt Price has faith in his team.
We'll play every point and we won't quit until the last point has been finished.
The conference tournament is months away. Until then, the team is focusing on establishing a rhythm and getting into good mental habits.
A lot of the times tennis is a mental game, so we want to work on that as well, in being in the right spot. Tennis is a game of you can't be perfect, but at least we can play smart.
The men's first match back at the Buxton Tennis Complex will be Saturday, March 5th against Central College. For SCTV, a reporter who was hit by several tennis balls this week, Mo Marks.
Last Monday, the men's and women's basketball team traveled to Decorah to take on Luther. The women won to stay undefeated in conference play, and the men dropped a tough one, but the Norse came to town on Saturday for a rematch. Let's get to the highlights. As always, the women were in action first, coming off of a 34-point win against the Norse. First half, Jenna Taylor with the up and under. She gets the point, had a good day. Still in the first quarter, Kaya Rasmussen puts the Storm up 12-6 with a 3. Next possession, steal ahead to Nash to Anawana with the good pass. Storm up 10 with the easy 2. Now Nash with another good find to Taylor. Jenna scored 15 and was named ARC Player of the Week again. Hattie Rhodes bangs in the 3. Storm lead all game and beat the Norse 90-66. Cam Kincaid scoring a lot of points too. The men are looking to end a 13-game skid in the nightcap. First half, Chris Hans with the spot up 3. Bang! Storm down 6-5 early. Now Tajan Ross, the junior, drives, spins, and gets the floater. Simpson leads 11-9. Now down 2, we go back to Chris Hans, and he hits the freshman, Jack Hutchinson, for 3. Storm lead 23-22. Both teams traded blows in the first half, but Andrew Curran hit a few more with the huge pull-up, but Luther did lead at the break, 35-34. Second half, back to Hans, up and under. Strong finish from the senior. Still down 3, Storm fighting. Hutchinson swings to Curran at the top of the key and drains it, tied at 43. Simpson leading now, and Tajan Ross pulls up and puts Simpson up 55-48. 6 minutes left. Hans hits Curran in the corner for another 3. The Storm get a much-needed win. The big 3 of Hans, Curran, and Ross combined for 85% of the Storm's win in a 65-61 victory. The Grapplers were home against Buena Vista and wrestled in black box, and it looked awesome. It was just a one-time thing, but I think they should do it again. Simpson will be back in Hopper next time. But black box must have been good luck because the Simpson Storm picked up their first conference win of the season thanks to a dual clinching pin from Colton Kinnison in the last match of the night. It was a huge night for Coach Peters' program, and they look to keep up the momentum.
The highly anticipated intramural basketball finals took place on Sunday night. Jake played in the game. Jake, how did it go?
Well, I won't spoil it too much because Caleb Gear shot and called the highlights. So here's more from Caleb at the championship.
The BBB Stepas took on the undefeated Tropics in Coles Fieldhouse with both teams in search of the coveted t-shirt. Easy loft to Caden Schneed. He lays it in, and the Stepas collect the early 2-point advantage. A Colt attack gets up close and personal, takes a slam, but the Stepas collect another 2 points. They go into the half with a 13-8 lead. Early in the second, Aaron Price throws up the jumper and successfully connects from range. The Stepas still on top. Max Robinson collects his miss, dishes to the perimeter, and Laurente Lewis makes the 3 from the corner look easy. Tropics down 3. Keaton Cock pulls up from range, ties this game all up. Caleb Vasquez spots up the jumper and collects to give the Tropics the lead. Back to Vasquez, he collects another on his way to becoming this game's MVP. Aaron Price has it. No one can stop him. Give this man his 2 points. Vasquez takes the easy points to put this one on ice, and the Tropics end on a 12-5 run. They put this game away 28-23 and are your intramural champions.
Congrats on that win, Jake.
Let's just say it was the biggest athletic achievement of my entire life. And that's going to be all for us this week.
As always, a huge thank you to Professor Siebert, Professor Carpinelli, and Professor Steffen for making this newscast possible.
We'll be back with more news next week, but until then, you stay classy, Simpson.